Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the drink you've trusted your entire life might not actually be your favorite. Not because someone told you, but because your own taste buds betrayed you. That's exactly what happened to millions of Americans, and it nearly brought the most powerful beverage empire in history to its knees. For nearly a century, Coca-Cola had ruled American culture like an untouchable monarch. It was more than a drink. It was a feeling, a tradition, the taste of summers, ball games, and family dinners. By the 1970s, Coca-Cola controlled over 60% of the cola market. Pepsi wasn't even close. It was the scrappy underdog, the cheaper option, the store brand alternative, the cola you grabbed when Coke was sold out. But underdogs have a way of studying their enemies. Pepsi's executives had been watching Coca-Cola for years, searching for any crack in the armor. And then, quietly, in shopping malls and grocery stores across America, they found it. Not through advertising, not through a celebrity, through a paper cup and a blind taste test. The Pepsi Challenge launched in 1975, and it was devastatingly simple. No logos, no labels, just two unmarked cups, one filled with Pepsi, one with Coke. Strangers were handed both and asked one question: which one tastes better? The results were explosive. More than half of participants preferred Pepsi. Regular Coke drinkers, loyal Coke drinkers, people who would have sworn on their lives they'd never touch a Pepsi, they chose it. And Pepsi filmed every single moment. Those raw, unscripted reactions hit television screens nationwide and spread like wildfire. For the first time in decades, Coca-Cola looked vulnerable. The numbers told the story Pepsi needed. Between 1975 and 1983, Pepsi's market share climbed aggressively. Coca-Cola executives, who had once dismissed Pepsi as a minor annoyance, were now sitting in boardrooms staring at declining sales figures with a growing sense of dread. The Pepsi Generation campaign, bold, youthful, electric, was pulling younger consumers away from Coke with a kind of cultural gravity that felt impossible to resist. Michael Jackson signed with Pepsi in 1983 for $5 million, the largest celebrity endorsement deal in history at that point. His commercials didn't just sell soda, they announced something. Pepsi wasn't chasing Coca-Cola anymore. It was replacing it. And Coca-Cola panicked. Behind closed doors, the company launched one of the most secretive research projects in corporate American history. Hundreds of thousands of taste tests, reformulated recipes, a desperate, obsessive search for a sweeter formula that could beat Pepsi on its own terms. They called it Project Kansas, and after years of development, they believed they had found it. A new Coke formula that outperformed Pepsi in internal testing. On April 23, 1985, Coca-Cola made the announcement that shook America to its core. They were changing the recipe. New Coke was here. What happened next was something no focus group, no market analyst, no Harvard-trained executive could have ever predicted. America didn't just reject New Coke, America revolted. Switchboards at Coca-Cola's headquarters lit up with over 400,000 angry phone calls and letters. Protest groups formed overnight. People hoarded cases of original Coke like it was the end of the world. A psychiatrist in Seattle compared the public's grief to the loss of a family member. Senator David Pryor of Arkansas stood on the floor of the United States Senate and called it, without irony, a day of national mourning. Coca-Cola had misread everything. They had measured what people tasted, but they had never measured what people felt. Within 77 days, one of the fastest corporate reversals in American business history, Coca-Cola brought back the original formula, rebranded as Coca-Cola Classic. The announcement triggered celebrations in the streets. People cheered. They cried. News anchors broke into regular programming to deliver the update like it was breaking political news. And Roger Enrico, Pepsi CEO, published a full-page ad in newspapers across the country, declaring, without the slightest hint of modesty, that Pepsi had won the Cola Wars. But had they? Here's where the story takes its most fascinating and unexpected turn. It supercharged it. The controversy had done something that no advertising campaign could ever buy. It had reminded every American exactly how deeply they loved Coke. The backlash generated billions of dollars in free media coverage. It created an emotional bond between the company and its customers that was stronger than it had ever been. By the end of 1985, Coca-Cola Classic was outselling both New Coke and Pepsi simultaneously. Some marketing historians would later ask a question that still echoes through business schools today. Was New Coke a mistake? Or was it the most brilliant accidental marketing move in history? Pepsi won the taste test. Pepsi won the cultural moment. Pepsi even won the battle. But in the end, Coca-Cola won something worth far more than a blind taste test result or a market share percentage. It won the one thing that no competitor could ever replicate, reformulate, or steal: the unshakable emotional loyalty of an entire nation. And that is why, decades later, you can walk into any diner, any gas station, any corner store from Maine to Los Angeles, and there it will be. That familiar red can, that unmistakable white wave. Because in America's greatest marketing war, the real weapon was never the taste. It was the memory.